The Trump administration's controversial executive order of January 20, 2020, cast a long shadow over accessibility rights in the United States, resulting in the widespread purging of crucial information from the Americans with Disabilities Act (ADA) website. This seemingly innocuous act of digital scrubbing, justified by the administration as a necessary measure to combat inflation, has left a gaping hole in the vital resources available to individuals with disabilities, businesses, and legal professionals alike. The deletions weren't subtle, they were significant and far-reaching, impacting the very core of ADA compliance. Entire pages, offering invaluable guidance on accessibility requirements, vanished into the digital ether. Consider the implications. A page detailing the accessibility mandates for retail businesses, suddenly gone. Another, outlining customer service best practices for hotels and lodging establishments catering to guests with disabilities, also erased. This wasn't a simple matter of updating outdated information. It was a wholesale removal of resources crucial for ensuring equal access and opportunity. The impact extends beyond retail and hospitality. The Justice Department's COVID-19 and the Americans with Disabilities Act webpage, once a source of critical information during a time of national emergency, underwent a dramatic transformation. 5 out of 7 frequently asked questions, available as recently as early March, were summarily deleted. This abrupt removal left individuals with disabilities, businesses struggling to navigate the complex interplay between pandemic protocols and accessibility regulations, and legal professionals seeking clarity, scrambling for answers. The Justice Department, in a press release that reeked of political expediency, labeled the removed guidance unnecessary and outdated. This dismissive characterization belies the profound implications of their actions. The claim of outdated information rings hollow when considering the ongoing need for clear, concise, and readily available guidance on ADA compliance. The removal of these resources leaves a void, forcing individuals and businesses to navigate a complex legal landscape without the essential tools to ensure compliance. The rationale offered for this sweeping purge points directly to the January 20th executive order signed by then-President Trump. This order, vaguely worded and lacking in specificity, blamed government regulation as a primary driver of inflation. The White House, in a statement echoing the order's sentiments, accused the Biden administration of creating artificial scarcity through a crushing regulatory burden and radical policies designed to weaken American production. This statement, however, lacked any concrete evidence linking specific regulations to inflation, and the order itself didn't pinpoint the regulations targeted for removal. Instead, it issued a broad directive to various agencies to evaluate business regulations, leaving the door wide open for arbitrary and potentially discriminatory actions. This incident is not an isolated event, but rather the latest chapter in a long-running battle waged against the ADA by certain political factions. The attempts to curtail the ADA's reach are not new. They've been a recurring theme, particularly within Republican circles. Recall the 2017 attempt in Congress to introduce legislation that would have significantly hampered the ability of individuals with disabilities to pursue legal action against businesses and employers that failed to comply with accessibility mandates. This bill, had it passed, would have effectively gutted the ADA's enforcement mechanisms, leaving individuals with disabilities vulnerable to discrimination and exploitation. The removal of these vital pages from the ADA website is a deeply troubling development, raising serious concerns about the commitment of certain political forces to uphold the principles of accessibility and equal opportunity enshrined in the ADA. This action is not simply about updating information. It's about systematically dismantling the safeguards protecting individuals with disabilities. The lack of transparency and the vague justifications offered by the Trump administration only exacerbate these concerns, highlighting a disturbing trend of prioritizing business interests over the fundamental rights of a vulnerable population. The long-term consequences of this action are likely to be significant, creating obstacles to full participation in society for millions of Americans with disabilities. The erasure of these pages serves as a stark reminder of the ongoing struggle for true equality and the constant vigilance required to protect hard-won rights. The fight for accessibility is far from over.